What up? What up? What up? We're back, the Progression Podcast, man. I'm your host, 007, and I'm so glad to be with you. It's been a great year, great month, great week, great day, great hour, great minute, great second. And I'm so glad that God woke me up to be with you today. We got some things to talk about today. We got some things to talk about every day. I always say that this is going to be one of them ones, but it is though. And I want everybody to tune in because I'm going to give you what God has put on my heart to talk about today. And it's a very special episode. It's called Legacy. We're talking about legacy today. I tell everybody, as you see on the screen with the Progression Podcast, we speak about liberation, education, and elevation. I was liberated from the street life, educated in the prison system, and elevated once I gave my life to Jesus Christ. We talk about 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. All things are passed away, and all things have come brand new. Right? I go back to the liberation, education, and elevation. Like I tell you, I was liberated from the street life, and that's what this show is meant to do. It's meant to liberate you, set you free, help you with things that have you bogged down. Education, I was educated in the prison system. I learned a lot about myself, about this world. I was educated there. And then I was elevated once I gave my life to Jesus Christ. Something lifted me up, lifted my mind up, and gave me a new path. And that's what we want to give you. We're talking about legacy today. This is a very serious topic, legacy today, right? Let's look at the definition of legacy. Now, in the Bible, it might tell, I'm not in the Bible, but in Webster's, it'll tell you something about inheritance. But I'll get into that about inheritance in a minute. But legacy is the long-lasting impact of a particular event or events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. These events in a person's life. Legacy, what you left. You made your mark. What was your mark, right? Let's go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 1:5. This is Paul sending a letter to Timothy, talking to Timothy. I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also. He's telling Timothy, and sometimes it takes somebody else to see something in you that you don't see in yourself, that they can tell you about your lineage and how somebody was doing something and now he can see it in you, right? Legacy. We're going to talk about legacy. Like I say, the it says long lasting impact of particular events and actions that's in a person's life when he's gone, right? What I want to tell y'all is that everyone leaves a legacy. Everybody leaves a legacy, good or bad. Let's talk about some good ones, like MLK, Malcolm X. They left a legacy of going against the status quo of their time, about oppression, about racial issues. Everybody knows them from that. John Lewis, he was a congressman. Probably did a million bills and probably did a lot of talking in Congress, but he's known for what happened to him on the Edmund Pettus Bridge out there in Selma, Alabama, how he got beat down for peacefully protesting the injustices of that day. of his people of that day, just walking across the bridge. Now it's known as Bloody Sunday. Even the Edmund Pettus Bridge is known for, has a legacy of being known for the state troopers beating people on that bridge. That has a legacy, right? Good or bad. That's them good legacies. Now, you got people like what's his name? Bernie Madoff. He made millions of dollars and he was cold on the stock market, had people investing. Some people was making money. He was making all the money, a lot. But he had a legacy at first of being this top-notch businessman, but what he's really known for is having one of the biggest scandals, one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history. That is his legacy now. His legacy is known for that. You got people like I go spiritual. Let's say Eddie Long. Eddie Long had a successful ministry, long time, but he's not known for how he prayed for people, how he helped set people free, led people to Jesus Christ. He's known for like his alleged church financial scandals that he had, his improprieties and sexuality allegations and lawsuits. That's what he was known for when he died. He wasn't really known for all that stuff he did, but it was the stuff that made the most impact that left his legacy. So when somebody thinks about him, they think, there you go. Let me tell y'all something. Your legacy is left on the ones closest to you. I'm telling you. When somebody talks about your child or tries to describe your child or try to tell someone about your wife or your sister, your brother, they'll say, hey, you remember his daddy, man, the one that got, messed up in that, you remember her husband, the one that got locked up for, you remember. I'm telling you, your legacy, if your kids walk down the street, if someone notices that's your kid, they're not going to be noticed for the good things you done, only the bad things that you left. The big impactful things when you left, the last thing they knew about was the bad things you did, right? Your legacy. Let me go into my legacy. Andre Bourne's 007's legacy, right? The Google search. I want to tell y'all about I named this the Google search for a reason, right? When I first got saved and was on fire for God, I got home and I opened up a bookstore, Christian bookstore, and was doing a lot of stuff. And then I got into the Christian rap world, gospel rap or whatever you want to call it. And so I started speaking at churches and all kind of events and prisons. And so people would vet me to see who I am and why these people saying I can come. They want to vet me. So they would do a Google search. In the Google search, the first thing they'd see was PWA. The first thing they'll see was he got locked up for robbery. The first thing, not if they go deep down into it, but the first thing they will see is that. And man, over the years, some had changed to where it was more articles on your Google search about Bless Fest, the annual thing we were doing, give stuff to the community event we were doing to give money away to the community, feed the community, help the community. That stuff started coming up. The stuff started coming up about what I'm doing in the community now. And so now when you search it, it won't have all that other stuff that I did in my past about my robberies, about me going to the penitentiary, it's really a part of my testimony and a part of my fabric, but that's not the legacy that I'm leaving. The legacy I'm leaving is about me giving honor to God who saved my life and my children. If someone asks about Dre, they say, who is his daddy? They say, oh, he was a rapper that turned his life around after a lot of foolishness. And man, he did this, he did that, in between the dash. You was born in 1973, lived in Fifth Ward, did all this, and then he did this. Hey man, it's a crazy thing about legacy. I was at a funeral of my uncle, right? And he had died, and so I was listening at the funeral, and it was the most boringest funeral, but it was straight to the point, but it was boring. It was like when they was reading his obituary, they said he was born this day, he worked, then he died. It wasn't like he did anything. It was like his legacy was just that. It was just, a plain Jane legacy, which I don't have no problem with it. It's just that what are we leaving our children that's on them? Because it's really on them. It's not a thing to be mocked or anything if you don't want to leave your children anything. It's just that we have to leave our children a legacy, and not just our children a legacy, leave a legacy for the whole world. The whole world can know, hey man, if he could have did it before he died, I can do it while I'm alive, right? Hey, it's all about the dash. We talk about the dash. You were born this day, dash, you died. It's the in between them dates. What did you do? Did you leave a legacy that's good? Because I rattled off a few names because a lot of people left a bad legacy for their people to be on. Even Bernie Madoff, his son even committed suicide. It was all kind of stuff, man, that was just on them people, after he got locked up, and it was on them, you know what I'm saying? And people were talking about him and doing all kind of stuff. And it's crazy, man. And John Lewis, hey, he have a legacy of fighting for in Congress, even for the Civil Rights Act. I think it's 1965. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment right here. The Civil Rights Act, the Voting Act, and all that kind of stuff. He helped build that kind of that act. We know him from that. We know him from that. He's most famous for going after what he wanted, after what was good for the community. He's known for that. But let me go into my last thoughts. It's my last thoughts. I'm going to put it on the screen for y'all. My last thoughts, and I want to thank everybody that tuned in, that gave me a chance to go across your airwaves, this morning, this evening, whenever you're listening to it. I'm not going to even tell y'all what time it is because, hey, but one thing I want to show y'all, though, yeah, y'all already know what it is. Hey, my last thoughts, I want to talk about morals, principles, and integrity. Those are the three things I want to leave my children. I most want to leave my children: morals, principles, and integrity. Let me tell y'all something. Leaving money is not a legacy. You're not leaving a legacy. You're leaving an inheritance. You're leaving an inheritance. It's not a legacy. Morals, principles, and integrity, right? Things that cannot be taken from a person. Now, money can be taken from a person. You can leave your child $1 million, and then a year later, all that can be gone. But the morals, principles, and integrity is in their heart and in their mind, right? That's what we want to leave. We want to leave morals, principles, integrity. If I would have died coming out of that prison, all you would have remembered about is 00 was a robber. 00 was a schemer. 00 was a con artist, right? And so when they talk about my children, they'll say their daddy was this, their daddy was that. Now that can God allow me to stay alive, because now it could be another thing wrote about me. Something else can be wrote about me. I'm telling you about morals, principles, and integrity. Hey, real quick, I got a friend, right? And so he owns this, he owns a lot of he owns a big business, right? And so he's doing this speech one day because they're honoring him, and he says, when he came from the country to Houston, his mom, his dad put him on the bus and was like, "Hey, we gave you everything you need to live to make it in the big city." And so he was like, "Wait a minute, they just gave me like $50 in my pocket." Now, $50 was a lot of money back then. He was coming out here to live with somebody. I think he was 18 years old. But they said, "We done gave you everything you need to make it in the big city." And so he was thinking like, "Man, y'all just gave me $50, man. But they gave him morals, they gave him principles, and they gave him integrity. And guess what? He's a millionaire times over, man. Good friend of mine, man. We did a lot of good work, mentorship work, took kids to DC, and every year we were doing that, taking 30 children to DC to the Congressional Black Caucus, and man, it was a great thing, man. And so my man RG, man, shout out to RG, man. And so everybody doesn't know him, but he's a real mentor for me. He's a real mentor for me. Hey man, I want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me, man, while we talk about legacy. Legacy, man. And then I want you to read 2 Timothy 15. I'm sorry, 2 Timothy 1 and 5, man, talking about Paul. Now read the whole 2 Timothy first line. He's telling Paul is telling Timothy about his legacy, and he knows it's in him. Hey man, I love y'all, man. 007, I'm out. Peace.